With Ontraport, you have a ton of options when it comes to creating forms for your page. Ontraport forms are handy whether you want to display your forms as pop-ups or if you need a form on your existing website and landing page. Either way, we make it really easy for you to create forms that'll fit your branded vision. Now, if you're wondering whether Ontraport forms are right for you, check out the video on when to use each of our form editors. But in this video, we're going to show you several different ways you can set things up in our standalone forms editor, so let's get started. If you hover over the Contacts tab and click on Forms, you'll find the Forms collection. Now, click to create a new form and select Ontraform. You can create a form by selecting one of our pre-built templates, or you can create one from scratch. When you click Start from Scratch, you'll get a blank template for your form canvas. When you click to add a block, you'll see several different block categories on your left. Block types are typically divided up into categories such as banner, footer, header, image, order form, text, and so on. For this example, let's go ahead and select Smart Form. Now remember, there are lots of different form options that allow you to create some pretty elaborate content for your pop-up forms. So if you want to include things like images, slideshows, descriptions, and even custom code, it's all possible in this form builder. Here's the thing you need to understand about building with Ontraforms. That is that it's our V2 technology. So it's not quite the drag and drop experience that you get when you build forms in Ontraport Pages. With this editor, to create the design you're looking for, you'll need to find a block that has some of the basic elements and layout that you want, and then hide or delete elements to create that ideal design. Note that when you click on your block in the palette editor on the left-hand side, it'll show up on the canvas on the right. As you keep adding blocks to your form, you can click on each one to see them in more detail. For example, when you click on the Smart Form block, you can edit the header, subheader, image, and more. As you build out your form, you can also change the order of your blocks by dragging the vertical arrow icon on the left side of the block. Then you just want to drop it where you want it to appear. You'll also notice that each element displayed has a trash icon and a toggle switch. If you hover over each element individually, you can use that toggle switch to show or hide it. Or you can click on the trash icon to delete it entirely. When you're editing your elements, be sure to select the Done button on the palette when you're finished making changes. For some elements in your block, you can actually click on them to make changes one layer deeper. Again, make sure to click Done whenever you're done making any changes to these elements. Now let's navigate to your form settings. Select the block that contains the form, and the form settings should appear below the fields listed on the form. If you need more information about form settings, be sure to watch our deep dive video called Form Settings and Advanced Features. There are a few different ways you can publish your forms, but we'll start with publishing on Ontraport Pages. If you want to use this form as a pop-up on an Ontraport page, you'll do that in the page itself. And there are two ways you can go about this. Let's say you want to set up a lead capture form that offers visitors a free resource in exchange for their email address. You might want the form to pop up automatically on your page. Navigate to the page you want your pop-up form to appear on, then go to Page Settings on the left. Then under Ontraform Settings, you'll see three options at the bottom. The first is Pop a Lightbox on User's Scroll. And this option allows you to make a form pop up when a visitor scrolls down a certain percentage of your page. Notice that when you toggle the On button, there are a bunch of different settings here that let you customize things just how you want them. You can decide where you want the form to pop up, how often you want to show it to each visitor, and whether you want to dim the background when it appears or not. You'll also have an option to pop a lightbox after time on page. This is similar to the setting we just talked about, but this one triggers after a certain amount of time rather than a certain amount of scrolling. Finally, we have that annoying option where we try to capture people's attention just as they're about to leave our page. This is called the Pop a Lightbox on Exit Intent. This is triggered when a visitor's mouse moves outside of the browser page, usually when they're about to change the URL or close the window. It's annoying, but it can really work too, so probably worth a shot. Keep in mind that this particular setting won't work on mobile devices. The second way to publish your form on Ontraport Pages is to have it pop up when people click on a button. To set this up, start by setting up a link on your page, and you can do this with either a button or by highlighting text and clicking on the link icon. When you go to set the link destination, scroll down and select Ontraform Lightbox, and then choose your form. Super simple. Last but not least, if you want to publish this Ontraport form on a page that's not built inside of Ontraport, there are a few different things you can do. If your site uses WordPress and you want to embed this form on your page, the easiest way to do this is with our plugin. And you can find that by searching for Pilot Press in the WordPress extension search box. Once it's installed and enabled on your site, you'll see a button that allows you to insert a form right onto your page. We have a whole different video on PilotPress, so check that out if you're going to go with this route. If your site is not a WordPress site, then you'll find what you're looking for by clicking on the Publish button in the top right-hand corner. Here's where you'll get code that you can add to another site. Ontraforms allows you to publish your form using one of 3 different methods. With the automatic lightbox option, your form will appear as a pop-up based on a set of triggers that are just like the ones we had in the page editor. The second option is to embed in a page. Your form will show up embedded in a page when it loads. You can also click to pop lightbox. This option creates a button that will make your form pop up. The button can be the text you enter, called the link text, in the Publish button pop-up. Once you've chosen your publishing method and configured your settings the way you want, copy the code that appears and paste it onto your web page. And that's all there is to it. Now you know all the different ways you can set up an Ontraport form. Next up, for those of you who do love to code or have a team of professional web developers who can do it for you, you can get into the nitty-gritty with our legacy forms. So if that's your thing, check it out in our legacy forms tour.